Bobo saw something that made his heart race with both terror and hope. While Malthus appeared solid and imposing in person, his reflection showed his true nature, a writhing mass of shadow and smoke, with dozens of tiny faces trapped within the darkness, the faces of children from countless birthday parties, their mouths open in silent screams. The sight broke something loose in Bobo's mind, a memory Giuseppe had shared during one of their late-night conversations after a particularly difficult show. "Evil things," the old clown had whispered. "They cannot bear to see their true selves. Mirrors force them to confront what they really are." With tremendous effort, Bobo managed to shift his weight just enough to kick at the mirror with the toe of his oversized shoe. The small glass rectangle skittered across the grass, spinning as it moved, its surface catching and reflecting the afternoon sunlight in brilliant flashes. Malthus shrieked, a sound like 1,000 children crying at once, and stumbled backward. The floating objects above the children's heads wavered, their perfect formation breaking apart. For a moment, the silver mist stopped flowing, and Emma's eyes flickered with recognition. "Bobo?" she whispered, her voice small and confused. "What's happening? I feel so cold." The spell holding Bobo in place weakened, and he lunged forward, snatching up the mirror and angling it directly at Malthus. The magician's form began to waver, the sharp edges of his tailcoat blurring like smoke. "You don't understand," Malthus hissed, his voice now coming from multiple directions at once. "I'm giving them a gift. No more disappointment, no more fear, no more growing up to face the cruelties of the world. They'll remain perfect, innocent." "That's not innocence," Bobo shouted, advancing with the mirror held high. "That's theft. You're stealing their chance to live, to grow, to become who they're meant to be." The other children were beginning to stir now, confusion replacing the blank serenity on their faces. Mrs. Henderson blinked rapidly, as if waking from a deep sleep. Where am I?" she mumbled, looking around the backyard with growing alarm. Emma, are you all right?" But Malthus wasn't finished. With a gesture of rage, he sent the floating objects spinning wildly through the air. They moved faster now, desperate to complete their harvest before their master's power failed entirely. The silver mist began flowing again, but erratically, in fits and starts. Bobo realized he needed to do more than just reflect Malthus's image. He needed to trap it. Giuseppe had told him other stories, older ones, about mirrors and spirits and the power of belief. If he could get Malthus to look directly into the mirror, to see himself fully. "Look at yourself," Bobo commanded, holding the mirror steady despite his shaking hands. "Look at what you really are." "I know what I am," Malthus snarled, but Bobo noticed he was careful not to look directly at the mirror's surface. "I am wonder made manifest. I am the magic that children crave." "No," said a small voice from behind Bobo. Emma had struggled to her feet, though she swayed unsteadily. "You're not magic. Magic is supposed to make you happy. You make everything feel empty." Other children were standing now, supporting each other as they fought off the lingering effects of Malthus's influence. A boy named Tommy, whom Bobo recognized from previous parties, pointed an accusatory finger at the magician. "You took my laugh," Tommy said, his voice growing stronger. "I can't remember how to laugh." "And my dreams," added a girl with pigtails. "I used to dream about flying, but now there's just nothing." Malthus's form was becoming increasingly unstable as more children spoke up, their voices breaking the spell of fear and confusion he had woven around them. The floating objects began to fall from the sky like dark rain, losing their supernatural buoyancy. "You want to see magic?" Bobo called out, inspiration striking him. "Real magic? Watch this." He reached into his scattered supplies and pulled out a handful of balloon-making materials. With practiced movements, Even while keeping the mirror trained on Malthus, he began to twist and shape a balloon. But this wasn't just any balloon animal. This was a creation born from 15 years of bringing joy to children, infused with every laugh he had earned, every smile he had inspired. The balloon took the shape of a small dog, bright red and cheerful. As Bobo worked, he spoke to the children, his voice carrying the warmth and enthusiasm that had made him beloved at countless parties. Magic isn't about taking, he said, his fingers working the balloon with expert precision. It's about giving. It's about creating something from nothing, about making someone smile when they thought they couldn't. The balloon dog seemed to glow with an inner light, and as Bobo held it up, the children's faces began to brighten. Emma clapped her hands together, and the sound was like a bell ringing, clear and pure. "I remember," she exclaimed. "I remember laughing." The effect was immediate and powerful. As the children's natural joy and wonder returned, Malthus's form began to dissolve more rapidly. The floating objects crashed to the ground, revealing themselves to be nothing more than pieces of black cardboard with crude symbols drawn on them. "This isn't possible," Malthus gasped, his voice now thin and reedy. "I am eternal. I have fed on wonder for centuries." "Wonder isn't food," Bobo said firmly, still holding the mirror steady. "It's not something you can consume and destroy. It's something that grows when you share it." He handed the balloon dog to Emma, who hugged it tightly. Then, with his free hand, he began pulling out more balloons, tossing them to the other children. "Everyone make something," he called out. "Anything you want. Let's show this fake magician what real magic looks like." The children, their energy and creativity restored, began twisting balloons with enthusiasm. They made swords and flowers, cats and airplanes, each creation unique and imperfect and beautiful. Their laughter filled the air, growing stronger with each passing moment. Mrs. Henderson, now fully recovered from Malthus's influence, began helping the children, her own laughter joining theirs. "I don't understand what happened," she said to Bobo, "but thank you. Thank you for bringing them back." Malthus made one final desperate attempt to regain control, lunging toward the nearest child with claws that had replaced his white gloves. But Bobo was ready. He angled the mirror to catch the full force of the afternoon sun and reflected it directly into Malthus's face. The magician screamed as he was forced to confront his true reflection, not the elegant performer he pretended to be, but a withered, hungry thing that existed only to steal joy from others. The light seemed to burn him, and his form began to unravel like smoke in a strong wind. "This isn't over," Malthus whispered as he faded. "There are other parties, other children. And there are other clowns," Bobo replied firmly. "Other entertainers who understand what magic really means. We'll be watching." With a final shriek of rage and defeat, Malthus dissolved completely, leaving behind only a small pile of ash and the lingering smell of sulfur. The children cheered, their balloon creations held high like victory banners. Emma ran to Bobo and hugged his legs tightly. "That was the best magic trick ever," she said, looking up at him with eyes that sparkled with renewed life. "How did you make the bad magician disappear?" Bobo knelt down to her level, his painted smile now genuine and warm. "It wasn't just me," he said. "It was all of us together.